topic we are going for today is how churches use your breaking point to hypnotize you. How churches use your breaking point to hypnotize you. How churches use your breaking point to hypnotize you. That is sad, isn't it? But that's what we have. Is your pastor hypnotizing you, brainwashing you? Find out. How churches use your breaking point to hypnotize you. Well, let's see an example of that here today. I'm going to show you a television, a program, not a TV, a church program here that is going to illustrate to us what we are talking about. Just an example. I'm sure there are so many more examples of this kind of thing, especially during those deliverances when pastors are praying for people, questioning them, talking to them. I think we might be able to see some other examples. But let me see this example here. Maybe some of you have seen this video before, maybe you have not. But this is a very good example of how pastors brainwash people and disgrace them, take advantage of them at their breaking point. Okay, here we go.
Somebody tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, things have to be done orderly, especially in the house of God. Does your neighbor agree? To God be the glory. We have one of our brother and our sister who are planning to get married. I want to announce them. Please, as I announce your names, please come forward. He has Izebe, endurance, and Joy. Is this Charles? Joy Charles. Where are they? Please stay this way and face the congregation. Just face the congregation. Praise the Lord. How many of you know these people? Do you know them? Well, thank God for their lives. But there is something I'm going to be saying this morning that will sound as a deterrent to everyone. Your brother is a baby. I want to ask you some questions before the people of God. What's the matter? Huh? What's the matter now? Please be calm. What we are doing is a serious business. Please, brother Isaac, were you once married?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Where's your wife?
She has traveled.
Huh?
She's not around.
Where is she?
She has traveled.
Travel to where?
To Europe.
To Europe. Okay. Was it studio? Please reduce the echo, please. Praise the Lord. If I hear noise, I stop this now. Now, were you a party to the traveling abroad of your wife?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You were a party to it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you aware of this?
No, sir.
That she was a party to the traveling?
No.
You're not aware. Why did you not tell her that you were a party to the traveling family? I didn't ask you. Why?
I told her.
You said what?
I told her.
When did you tell her?
Before, let me say, months ago.
5 months ago. Did you tell me when I was asking you in the office that you were party to the child of your daughter, of the woman?
No.
No. What did you tell me in the office? That she ran away.
She ran away. Yeah.
Please, can you work on this one? It is my own praise the Lord. Increase it, just leave it like this. What did you tell me when I asked you in the office?
I told you that she ran. I told you that she ran.
You told me that she ran away from the house. How many children was she having for you?
2.
2 children. Where are the children now?
One is with me, and one late.
The one died.
Yeah.
What happened to that child? Did you tell me the child died?
No.
You didn't tell me.
What?
Well, hold on. Praise the Lord. Please let this not sound as an embarrassment to you, especially those of you coming for the first time. The house of God is a house of order. And it's not every man of God you meet and lie and get away with it. Okay, please hold on. Now that you are aware, sister, what's your name? Is Joy?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware of all these stories?
No.
You are not aware.
He told me that his wife ran away from the house.
Okay.
When he go to work, before he came back
From work,
the woman ran away. Before the burial, let me say,
Burial of who?
burial
Of his grandmother.
yes. Let me say, a week to the burial. Then some people now came to his house. No, to his house. They were making some noise that morning. And the uncle is around that very day. So I now went
Okay, spare us the story. Don't worry, I have all the details.
Okay.
Still, show me the wedding marriage card of the first wife. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
Who is that on the picture?
It was my wife.
Huh?
It was my wife.
It was your wife or your wife?
My wife.
Your wife. What year did you do this marriage?
That was 2014.
That's a lie. When did you do this marriage? I ask you one more time.
2015.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Have you ever seen that card before? This is your first time of seeing it.
Yes.
Okay, see it again if you want to. Okay. Now, please hold on. I want to ask you a question, Brother Isegbe. You told your family members that I gave you 40,000 naira to go and marry this lady. Huh? Who did you tell that?
I did not say anything, sir. I did not say something like that.
You didn't say something like that. Okay, there's no need to begin to talk about that. That was one of the lies you told against me that brought about this investigation. Well, the parents of your wife are here. Please, where are you? Please come.
Let's start from the beginning, please. Start the whole thing from the beginning. So let me begin to make analysis and the explanation of what's going on here. This is Africa for you, and people are just basically doing what they like. People are doing what they like with the lives of people. Now, was this guy wrong? Definitely. Did they do anything wrong? Sure. But what this man is doing is called an abuse. This man is abusing them. He's taking advantage of these people. And so the topic of today, let's see the topic of today first, is how pastors are hypnotizing you and brainwashing you. But the topic of today is how churches use breaking point to hypnotize you. So they are using the breaking point in the lives of that husband and wife, that man and the girlfriend, to hypnotize not just them, but also the people in their congregation. So they are taking advantage of the people in the congregation through the story of some innocent or victim, of some poor guys who are unlucky. So let's go through the story again.
Somebody tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, things are to be done orderly, especially in the house of God. Does your neighbor agree? To God be the glory. We have our brother and a sister who are planning to get married. I want to announce them. Please, as I announce your names, please come forward. He has Izebe Endurance and Joy. Is this Chas? Joy Chas. Where are they?
Stop. You see, the impression is giving the impression that people are about to get married and they are going to do either wedding or they are going to do engagement. That's what you would think. You think, okay, this is engagement time. And I'm sure even the people themselves, they came as if they are coming for an engagement. They didn't know that the pastor has a surprise for them. Now, this thing he's doing, there is nothing stopping him from doing that in the office. There is nothing stopping him from doing this kind of, I suppose, in privacy. Well, why should you definitely or compulsorily destroy people's name, people's reputation, and absolutely, definitely, disgrace them publicly? Why is that necessary? The public spectacle and disgrace. Let's have a look.
Please stay this way and face the congregation. Just face the congregation. Praise the Lord. How many of you know these people? Do you know them? Well,
so these people have come, they have dressed, they came dressed up, invited their relatives, and they said, do you know them? People are shouting, rejoicing for them, that they are going to wed, they are going to have a wedding, or they are going to have engagement. Yeah, of course, I'm not saying that a crime has not been committed here, but you don't use people's tragedy or people's sin to break them. You don't use, you see, people's breaking point. You know now, what is the breaking point here? The breaking point here is that it's a moment that they are looking up. It's a moment when they need something from the church. It's a moment when they need to be blessed. They are looking, it's a decisive moment in their life. It's a moment when they are waiting for the pastor's blessing, the church blessing. You know, it's a breaking point in their life. It's a turning point in their life. So this turning point in life, everybody faces it. Or you face a breaking point when you don't know where to go, or you needed to face some situation that are more than you. So this is the time that the pastor decided to vex his muscles.
For their lives. But there is something I'm going to be saying this morning, that we serve as a deterrent to everyone. Your brother is a baby. I want to ask you some questions before the people of God. What's the matter? What's the matter now? Please be calm. What we are doing is a serious business. Please, brother Ezebe, were you once married?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Where's your wife?
So you see what the pastor is doing is setting him up. He has set him up and he has cornered him. Because the pastor is trying to say, okay, you have deceived me, and there are some men of God you cannot deceive. That means I am that kind of man of God that you cannot deceive. He's trying to say that it is God that has revealed what has happened to him. But you know that it's not God that has revealed to him. Somebody has probably come to tell him the information that the guy has deceived him. So he's trying to play a superman, a real man of God that you cannot deceive. So have you been married before? All these things, he could have canceled the engagement or the marriage and then talk to them in private and not expose people like this. But let's continue. But because the man, this pastor, wants to wield his power, he wants to prove that he is powerful, that he's a man of God, that he's anointed and he knows things and he cannot be deceived. That's why he's doing an open spectacle. And this is what pastors do all the time. They try to, or especially those ones who are trying to give you some miracles or some deliverance, they use your weaknesses, your problems, to take advantage of you. Yep.
She has traveled.
Huh?
She's not around.
Where is she?
She has traveled.
Travel to where?
To Europe.
To Europe. Okay. Well, since studio, please reduce the echo, please.
Do you know that this kind of treatment could lead to suicide? If that guy is not strong enough mentally, he could go and commit suicide. This kind of attitude and this kind of treatment could lead somebody to commit suicide. Because it's a mental terror, psychological terror. These pastors are committing crime. This is an abuse. It's a mental terrorism. And you shouldn't disgrace people. And this is the kind of thing that's happening all over Nigeria every day almost. Is it brainwashing people, the whole congregation, and to show that you are nothing. He is the one that is almighty in that place, and that he can do anything he wants with anybody, with anybody's life. And because of the authority he has, because of the position he has, he can afford to mistreat you, and you will not even have the right to say anything, especially when you're at your breaking point. When you're at your breaking point, when you need something, when you need help. Okay.
Praise the Lord. If I hear noise, I stop this now. Now, were you a party to the traveling abroad of your wife?
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you aware of this?
No, sir.
That he was a party to the traveling?
No.
You're not aware?
No.
Why did you not tell her that you were a party to the traveling of that lady? I didn't ask you. Why?
I told her.
You said what?
I told her.
When did you tell her?
Before.
You know, can you imagine these people's parents are there? The whole community is there because it's a church. So all those people in church will be living in the same town or in the same city or in the same vicinity with them. Maybe they are employees and colleagues and fellow workers are there. So this man is just using his big manship to ruin the prospect. You know, Jesus doesn't do this to us. So if Jesus has done this to us, we would all have been. We would not be. We would. I mean, I don't know what would have happened to all of us, because if Jesus had been pointing finger at sin, nobody would have been able to stand. Jesus doesn't use your past to disgrace you. Jesus doesn't even use your past to judge you. He has paid for your sin, and if when people mess up, call them privately and talk to them and tell them why you cannot join them together. But to be destroying people mentally, socially, psychologically, and and even spiritually like this is a misuse of authority, is brainwashing, is hypnotizing, is taking advantage of poor people.
Let me say 5 months ago.
5 months ago. Did you tell me when I was asking you in the office that you were party to the traveler of your daughter, of the woman?
No.
Eh?
No.
What did you tell me in the office? What did you tell me in the office?
That she was traveling.
That she ran away.
She ran away.
Eh?
Yeah.
Please, can you work on this one? It gives me my own. Praise the Lord. Increase it, just leave it like this. What did you tell me when I asked you in the office?
I told you that she ran.
Eh?
I told you that she ran.
You told me that she ran away from the house. How many children was she having for you?
2.
2 children. Where are the children now?
One is with me, and one late.
The one died.
Yeah.
What happened to that child? Did you tell me the child died?
No.
You didn't tell me. Well, hold on. Praise the Lord. Please let this not sound as an embarrassment to you, especially those of you coming for the first time. The house of God is a house of order. And it's not every man of God you meet and lie and get away with it.
Stop. You see the idea? This is where the man is going to. It's not every man of God you meet that you can lie and get away with it. So he is invisible. He's trying to prove his invisibility, that he is invisible. I am such a man of God. I'm such a superman that you cannot lie to me and get away with it. So this is what it all thing is all about. So this pastor just want to prove to the whole world that he is all-knowing and he can get you, he can detect you. And this is not just a show of power, a demonstration of power for this guy alone. This is a demonstration of power for the people in the congregation and the people on the television who are watching it, so that they will know that I'm a powerful man. No, there is nothing you tell me I will find out or I will discover or God will reveal to me So he's trying to be, so in an attempt, this is a typical example of what happens to Africans. In an attempt to establish his own authority, he's trying to make people, everybody know that he is the most powerful guy, and he's killing people for it. He's sacrificing all these poor people's lives just to declare his authority and to establish his authority. So he's brainwashing the old people that are following or worshiping him, just at the price, at the cost of these people's lives and these people's reputation and name. This happens in Nigeria and Africa all the time. People bring a whole life of people to sacrifice just to establish the authority and to brainwash other people around them.
Okay, please hold on. Now that you are aware, sister.
And you see the noise in the congregation, people don't even see anything wrong in this. People don't know that they are being brainwashed, because now, before you say anything to the person, you will fear. You are not fearing God, but you are fearing the man. And then you begin to look at the man as a superhuman, as somebody who knows everything, as somebody who is superior to you, as somebody who must be worshipped, so instead of you being connected to God, it is man that you are now being connected to. So you are now fearing him instead of fearing God. You are now reverencing him instead of reverencing God. So it's a whole technology and mechanism that is destructive to the ears. And this is what people do in Africa, and they use this strategy to captivate you and make you into their slaves. The whole idea is to make you into their slave. It's a slavery system. It's a way of enslaving the masses. It's a way of enslaving other people who follow them. Yep.
James Joy.
Yes.
Are you aware of all these stories?
No.
You are not aware.
He told me that his wife ran away from the house.
Okay.
When he went to work, before he came back
From work,
the woman ran away. Before the burial, let me say.
Burial of who?
Burial
of his grandmother.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Let me say a week to the burial. Then some people now came to his house. No, to his house. John making some noise that morning, and the uncle is around that very day. So and now when
spare us the story. Don't worry, I have all the details. Still, show me the wedding marriage card of the first one. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
Who is that on the picture?
It was my wife.
Huh?
It was my wife.
It was your wife or your wife?
My wife.
Your wife. What year did you do this marriage?
That was 2000.
You see, people who go to church must know that by them going to church or being a member of the church, that doesn't mean that they have become slaves to the pastor. People should know that by going to church, they don't become slaves. People should know that by going to church, they don't sell their allegiance to pastors, and pastors don't own them. If it's in Europe, somebody could just say, no, I'm not going to talk about this publicly. He will just walk out and just say, okay, pastor, I don't want to talk about this here right now. This is not the appropriate place to talk about it. Somebody who has his own self-awareness, who have the sense of awareness. I think we have some calls. Let me hear what people are thinking about this situation. So pastors are brainwashing members and taking advantage of members and doing anything they want with them, just uselessing them, humiliating them, disgracing them, embarrassing them, and shaming them. They're using the instrument of shame to enslave you. They're using the instrument of embarrassment to enslave you. They are using the instrument and the weapon of disgrace to enslave you. They are using the instrument and the weapon of dishonor to brainwash you. So evil things, you don't even need to brainwash anybody or to enslave anybody. But this has become the culture in Africa right now. If you're a pastor, you can just useless and mesmerize and embarrass. He doesn't have any respect. This pastor doesn't have any respect to these people. And that's like the situation in Africa. Pastors don't respect members. Only members respect them. And that is horrible. That is not the kingdom of God. In the kingdom of God, everybody deserves to be respected because everybody is made in the image and likeness of God. So I want to hear some of the thoughts and feelings that you people think about. Whatever you think about this. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about this whole thing going on? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Who is calling, please? From where?
Yes, this is who I'm calling from
Sweden. Sweden, yes. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you, sir. How are you, sir?
Very good. I would like to hear your feelings about this.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, the thing is this, the African or the Nigerian situation, I mean, not being spiritual, I will not try to, even before you get to the spiritual level, we have our minds are quite limited. We are very limited. And these things start from the homes where your father could disgrace you in public. And sometimes in Africa, you see some parents, they will beat their children. They will even pour chili on the children's body. So you're already breaking the children. And some people, even when they become pastors.
But that is an abuse.
Yeah, that's an abuse. But the problem is Africans don't know what abuse is. An African or a Nigerian, an average Nigerian doesn't know what to be a narcissist or a narcissist behavior is. So if I'm becoming a narcissist, I cannot detect it. For me, it's fine and it's okay, and other people will even defend me. So this is, but the problem is when we even become children of God, we're supposed to know that Christ changes our behavior, our attitude, and we begin to develop wisdom and understanding. But the problem is people just take up microphones, occupy positions without having wisdom, neither do they have understanding. Wisdom on what to do and understanding a person's, to be sensitive towards a person's feelings. Right now, if you watch, the guy couldn't live there because if he lives there, probably the pastor is going to lay a curse on him later or tomorrow. And people, when things go wrong in his life now, they will not say because that pastor laid a curse on you. You know, it's manipulation. So this is very wrong. And it's always wrong. It's never, ever anywhere. I mean, like if this kind of man appears in a European setting, in Western Europe, the pastor might need to go for need to see a psychologist, apart from being jailed, where they have to study him and find out what's wrong with this man. But in the African situation, it's very okay. Abuse is very okay. So it's very wrong. It's very wrong. And everyone should learn and know that, to learn to find out what is really wrong and not just remain on that path we have always been and say, it's okay, Pastor, thank you for disgracing them, because that's what it actually is. But where people are screaming and shouting hallelujah. So it's very wrong, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now, let's see what is going on here now. See what is going on. Pastor Adeboye is tackling people. You know the reason why people are using this comb? The reason why people are using the comb and they are doing what he's talking about is because they are at a breaking point in their lives. It's because they are having one problem or the other that is making them to think that they have to do whatever the man says. So this is how how pastors exploit your breaking point. Let's see the topic again. So pastors will exploit your breaking point, and that way they will hypnotize you and brainwash you. And that's what we're seeing in that video. You know, let's see the video, please. Just rewind it. Hello, who is there? Who is calling, please?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, who is calling?
Yeah, this is Uche from Germany.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So this thing just set me free now, obviously.
Tell us about it.
So, this is one of the things that we grew up seeing in African churches. Back in Nigeria, obviously, pastors, the way they do as if they have seen God, seen everything. And so when they come to deliver a message, they don't make it look simple. Like in my own church, but I'm not going to give the name, for some security purpose. So, the way they give the message that this is the message of the hour and that this is a revelational knowledge, a message that God has given them for the hour, they try to make you see them so holy. People that are in touch with God every minute. And then by so doing, they try to make you not to ever think that you can be like them. Okay, so what I was saying is that in my own church, which I'm no longer, I don't go there anymore, the way they present even the ordinary message that they want to come and give, I'm not calling it ordinary to make it look like it's a message from man. I respect the word of God, but I mean the way they present it. And even in our church, they tell you that in our church, that God comes in our church himself.
Yeah, but what I'm concerned about, why should they be putting another man down? Why should they be disgracing people?
That's what I'm saying. This is part of it. You are just making the point. This is connected. Because this man wants to show himself that he's so close to God, that he knows everything that God, anything you do in the church, that God reveals to him. So this is still the same thing. By you telling a church that God is in your church, that he comes there himself, but in other churches that he sends his angels. That is absolutely a lie.
Wow.
So this is what we are saying. It is still the same thing. And now when I talk to some of those my brethren, because I have left there for now, so when I talk to some of my brethren, the way they see me, they don't see me as a Christian who I'm supposed to be seen that way, but they see me as a backslider. Even though I have ministered in that place many times and many years. But this is because of the mentality. They have tried to exalt their church. And this is not just common to this church I'm talking about. It is the same everywhere. No, but you can't go to any church and then you enter there without, with free mind.
But that's what they're calling brainwashing. That's what I'm saying is brainwashing.
Exactly. Pastor, I said this thing just set me free now. You won't understand. You won't understand. But I'm saying it because from my heart, I know what has happened to me now. Wow. When I hear the truth, I know that this is the truth. It just set me free completely.
Wow.
Please continue these things you're doing, obviously.
Wow.
This is the real truth. People are preaching heresies, and people are literally worshiping their church and their pastors, but they don't know it.
Yeah, like now I'm watching a video where G.O. Adeboye is making people to use comb. Because of people's breaking point, people are being taken advantage of.
This is serious.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So let's go to the notes. Let's see the notes, and you'll see that it's because people have problems and people are in desperate situation, so they feel they have to do anything the pastor says. And it's like the Nigerian people, the Nigerian pastors know that because of the economic and the situation in the country, they have authority. They can do and undo with members of the church. So how churches use your breaking point to hypnotize you? Let's go through the notes. Philippians 3:18-21 says, "For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ." So many of these so-called pastors are actually the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction. See how the Bible is describing them. This is Paul writing about these kind of pastors, whose God is their belly, because they want people to give them money. Their God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame. Is by bringing shame on people, disgrace. That is how they get glory. You get glory by bringing shame on other people. You get glory by disgracing other people. Who set their mind on earthly things? It is about earthly things, glory, praise, respect, membership. That is what is making people to behave like this. For our citizenship is in heaven, from which we also eagerly wait for the Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ, who will transform our lowly body, that it may be conformed to his image, his body, according to the working of which he is able even to subdue all things to himself. For many walk, of whom I have told you in the beginning often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ. You see, These kind of people behave like this. God says, the Bible says they are the enemies of the cross. Anybody who is taking advantage of another man is an enemy of Christ. Anybody who is taking advantage of people to get glory, so that he will get glory, he will get popularity, but bringing shame on another person, putting another person down so that he will be able to get glory, is an enemy of Christ. So the Bible says here, look at, so this topic, let's keep on going. Let's see the topic. This topic, how churches use breaking point to hypnotize you. Point 2 now. What does it mean? Breaking point is a state when someone has nowhere to go again. When you feel like your world is coming to an end. It's a time in your life when you have nowhere to go. Ideally, at this point in life, you need God. Yes, pastors tell you that. They say that to you, but they attach conditions that actually enslave you. So pastors will begin to tell members things like, night vigil, you must come to night vigils. Don't miss a night vigil. If you miss night vigil, you will not get your miracle. That is attaching them to things. That is giving them conditions for God to pray. Really, they were supposed to be attaching people to Christ. Instead of attaching people to Christ, they are attaching people to the church. They are saying, don't miss night vigil. If you miss any service, your miracle might be coming that day or something. That is all manipulation and brainwashing. So they see your desperation. They see your problem, your breaking point, that you are the breaking point, and then they begin to tell you, go and fast for 10 days. If you want this problem to be solved, go and fast for 10 days. But it's not the fasting for 10 days that will do the thing. It's God. They are supposed to be telling them about getting to know God, coming to become closer to Christ. Some of them will say, go and fast for 20 days, 21 days, 30 days, 40 days. Some of them will say, don't miss church, don't miss church. Anything that makes them to be attached to you. Instead of setting you free, they make you into a slave. So pastors and churches now, they are taking advantage of people just through their problems. So through your problems now, they make you become a slave. So people are being enslaved because of problems. That is the point when they make you to go bath in some rivers, they do some crazy stuff. The comb is because of desperation of the people. Going to bow down before share is because of people's desperation. Combing, bringing comb to church is because of people's desperation. That's people's breaking point, make them to bring you to idol worshiping. Eating grass, snake, eating snake, sleeping with pastor for you to be pregnant, to have children, or to get husband. These are all breaking points of people being taken advantage of. People's breaking points are being taken advantage of. That is what we see all the time. Why is it that a human being will be told to be bringing, a Christian, to bring comb to church? And he will bring it, and he will be doing it. He's idol worshiping, but he doesn't even think about it because it's at his breaking point. What will make somebody to be eating snake and grass is because he's at the breaking point. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. You have to put off your volume there, or go away to another room where there is no voice, so that I don't hear my voice. Yes. Go ahead.
Good evening, Pastor. Pastor Sunday, good evening.
Good evening, please.
This is Baba Tope Thompson.
Right, sir.
It's just my contribution for today, really. Thank you for all the good work that you've been doing.
Okay.
I don't know where to start, really. What is actually happening right now? My contribution today is just about just listening to all these things that have been happening and the video. I can only liken this to, so it's like, permit me to just draw like a line of analogy, really. It's like if a father who has a small son, and in a summer day, very sunny day, a father playing with his boy, a little child, in a garden. And suddenly in a garden, while the father was playing, an innocent child playing with his dad, he somehow see like the shadow of his daddy. And the son turned around, immediately looking at the shadow of his dad,
Okay.
and he ignored the dad, and now started playing with the shadow.
Wow. Beautiful.
That is
Beautiful.
that is we Nigerians.
Wow.
Permit me to explain that in a bit. It's like this child is a symbol of a genuine person who wants to play with with the father,
Yes.
who seek God. This innocent child is someone who wants to actually be able to explore and have relationship with his dad.
Yes.
But somehow, he started chasing the shadow of his dad.
But in the case of Nigeria, somebody is the pastors who are deceiving people now, who are manipulating them.
That is it. That is what I'm saying. The pastors are people who are supposed to bring the Nigerians, my fellow people, to God. The child is innocent. Just like the title of today, they are so vulnerable. And the dad actually really started taking advantage of that innocent child. And the shadow now is the symbol of those pastors.
Yeah.
And when now the child has ignored his dad, the true God, what we now started seeing is that due to our condition, my people's condition,
Yes.
ignorance,
Yes.
then the shadow started taking advantage. The child is confused.
Yeah.
His mind is being mesmerized.
Yeah.
They've been taken advantage of. They've been held captive in their own land. When I look at it, I used to live in Germany. It's like Auschwitz. When I look at the church, it's like people in concentration camp.
Yes. Concentration camp. That's slavery.
It's like slave. I'm sorry to say, it's like Auschwitz.
Yeah, it's like slave camps.
The only difference is that there's no barbed wire around the church, around them.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame. But you know what? I would like to reflect on, there was a caller, that pastor, who said, that pastor in Nigeria, they used to say good things about you, until now that you started attacking them. And he was asking whether there could be disadvantage in every advantage thing. And my mind runs to somebody who is depressed.
Yeah.
And because if you are depressed, that's how I see my people. If you are depressed and you be prescribed antidepressants, will you say because of the side effects you are not taking the medication? This is serious. So, because what you are doing now, what he's claiming that what you are doing now has its disadvantage. If there's a disadvantage to what you are having, does that make it that you have to stop what you are doing? If it is going to save life?
Yeah.
So, and my advice to this pastor is actually, because I need to actually really say that people will be coming. Our fathers, our bishop, they will be sending their emissaries on this platform just to distract you from your message.
Yeah.
You need to bear that in mind, sir. That, like I said in one of my earlier calls, that the baton is in your hand. Run your race.
Yeah.
Run your race. And as you are running your race, those emissaries, those people, the distractors, they will be throwing stones. They will be throwing so many things at you. But actually, continue to press on to the finish line.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
To the finish line.
Thank you so much.
The other
Yeah. So, yeah, these are the tragedies that are happening in our country now. This is the shadow. Very good example that that caller said. Because this is the shadow. They left the Father. Can you imagine people ignoring God the Father and playing with the shadow? You know, this is ridiculous. This is idol worshiping in the church. But because people are at the crossing point, or because people are at the breaking point, they are doing it. Yes, who is calling, please? From where?
Yeah, hello, my name is Kevin, calling from Sweden.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to appreciate you for the good work you're doing, for this work of exposing all these pastors. First of all, I don't know if at the video you had played earlier, first of all, I want to ask you a question. Who owns the church?
Is it not the Lord Jesus Christ?
Thank you very much. Okay, in that video you were playing before you started showing this Adelaja on the pastor who was trying to discuss that poor young man and poor young woman, you know.
Yeah.
This video, I have seen it earlier. You know, there was a time you talked about this Paulinus who was insulting pastors.
Yes.
You know, and I called and I said that what he's doing is right because most of these pastors. This is one of the videos I mentioned about that I was telling you about. If you had watched this video to the end, you would have seen how this pastor was insulting that guy.
Wow.
You know, to the extent that he told the guy, say, "Get out of my church." And I was like, really? Is this your church? You understand me? So what I'm trying to say is that, you see these people, I don't blame them. You see, that's the reason why I love Western world. Everybody is equal. Here I am. I don't even know who is rich, who is poor. Everybody is equal.
Yeah.
You understand me? So the reason why these people are taking advantage, they can only do these things to the poor ones because they know that they don't have much to speak.
Yeah.
You understand me? They cannot talk. So this is the reason why you see that they're taking advantage of these people. These are the people that they are trying to manipulate. The rich ones who are living, who are very rich, they don't have time for all these things.
Yes.
You understand me? So and I don't know when these poor ones, and they are the ones that are very stubborn too, that they just want to, they want to die with those pastors. They just fail to realize the truth.
Because they are looking for miracles.
What kind of miracle? You cannot stay home and start, or you cannot be home, but you say you are looking for a miracle. You want God to bless. How will God bless you? God cannot throw money from heaven and give to you. God cannot give. You have to go out there and look for your daily bread. You have to go out there and look for something to do for God to bless you.
Yes.
You understand me? So these are the things that we need to start preaching on these people, because the pastors have taken advantage by telling them that God will bless them. You know, you see a man of God. You see somebody who does not have job. He will go and sleep in the church, money from morning till night, praying that God will throw money from heaven to bless him. How is it possible? How is it possible?
Because they are being brainwashed.
I think it's just stupidity that is worrying these people. Stupidity. You understand me? They have to really open their eyes. You know, this is all I just want to say. You know, and that's why I was telling you that this guy he's good enough that he's insulting those pastors, because those pastors, they do insult people too.
Yes, yes.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is all I want to just contribute. I really appreciate what you're doing, and we have to keep on doing. We have to keep on push. We have to keep on exposing these pastors. It's just too much. African pastors is too much for them. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Right.
Let's go back to the notes. And you'll see that at some point, the Christian victim realizes that there is no way out from their horror. They live in that horror. They live in the pain and guilt. Apart from remaining, they think there is no way for them apart from remaining in that church and with that pastor. You see, they begin to experience one of the most primitive, painful emotions known to man. That is the fear of total annihilation. Because they think if they leave the church, then they have left God. They think if the pastor doesn't bless them, then they will not be blessed. So all their prayers now is about their fear. They are always living in fear. And most of the fear is that the pastor shouldn't chase them away, or the church they shouldn't leave the church. So these pastors are taking advantage of people's fear, and it's a primitive way of living, because they begin to experience all those fears and things like that. At this point, a lot of pastors begin to demand that the victims bring their money, tithe, offerings, and all kinds of money laundering in the church. That is how they take advantage of all the people and take all their things. These evil pastors invent things like sowing into the anointing, prophet or seed or prophet offering, faith offering or faith seed, 24 hours miracle, 70 days miracle, 100 days miracles, etc. These are all manipulations, armed robbers in the church. In fact, many wish for a quick death because all the deliverance sessions, prayers, and fasting often yield no result. Because it will yield no result. There will be no result at the end of the day. Some even suffer delusions and hallucinations, especially when brothers and sisters keep giving them a word from the Lord, and those words from the Lord never come to pass. Obviously, the ability to think and reason at this stage is severely compromised. This is the greatest damage these so-called churches are doing to the minds of our African people. Let's examine how Jesus deals with those people at the breaking point in life. John 8, 10 to 11. When Jesus had raised himself up and saw no one but the woman, he said to her, "Woman, where are those accusers of yours? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No, no one, Lord." And Jesus said to her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." He said, no attachment. He set her free. In Africa, when they know that you have problem like that, okay, go and bring this one. Okay, go and bring this one. Go and do that. Oh, come to church, oh, don't miss church, oh, come to 7 days fast, oh, 21 days fast, oh, night video. They begin to attach you to all kinds of things to bring you to slavery. Jesus didn't take advantage of her. He didn't even try to take her, to make her a regular church member. He gave her total freedom. Go. Go. Don't even follow me. Go. He's not attaching her to himself. He's attaching her to Christ, to God. Sin no more. Yeah. Luke 23, 39 to 43. Then one of the criminals who were hanging, blasphemed him, saying, "If you are the Christ, save yourself and us." But the other answering rebuked him, saying, "Do you not even fear God, seeing you are under the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward for our days. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said to Jesus, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus said to him, "Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." So in this case, both the victim and Jesus himself were at their breaking point. Yet, Jesus maintained humanity even at his own breaking point. He didn't allow his pain to block his humanity. But pastors in Nigeria, whenever they want to build church or they are in a crisis, they take advantage of people. That's when they break the people. And when the people are in problems especially, so get the other video right. The other person or victim received mercy, acceptance, love, and kindness instead of being exploited. I'm going to show you a video right now that is horrible. Just because people in Africa are desperate, are in need of some miracles or the other, I'm going to show you a video now that will make you cry or will break your heart completely. A Catholic priest is telling people that by beating the people, that they will get miracle, that it is the beating that will give them the miracle. So beating people will give you miracle. See things like that is happening in Africa. Shineke. Put it volume. See what's happening here. Stop. You see, this man is a narcissist, or what do you call it? He's a narcissist. He must be a sadist. Somebody that gets satisfaction by inflicting pain on others. But he does it in the name of God. And says that stick is a blessing. It's a blessed stick. It will cast out the demons. It will bring you blessing. And see what it's doing. It's a narcissist, sadist. This is a sadist. Now, you guys see what is happening here. See this thing that is happening here. How can you, do you think that this man would do this enough in Europe? He would never do this in Europe or in America. He would never do this in Europe or in America. Beating people and calling it anointing. Beating people and calling it only blessing. That is an embarrassment. That's a disgrace. It's a shame that these kind of things are happening in Africa. Beating people, beating members with a rod, and they are still shaking his hand. And they are still thanking him for it. I mean, beating people hard. And people are still grateful. Playing the musical instrument. I mean, because the people are their breaking point in Africa. People in Africa are desperate. They are their breaking point. So sadist and narcissistic people like this, they have their, they are just taking advantage of people. This guy is supposed to be in jail for a long, long time. Hello? Hello? We can't hear this person calling now. This person is supposed to be jailed for a long, long time to come. It's a disgrace that somebody will be beating members of the church like this just in the name of blessing. Beating children, beating adults, and telling them that they are being blessed. It's a shame. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can you go to a place where you can talk and where we can hear you? We can't hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Wow, it's so sad. See what's happening to our Africans. They just take advantage of them, and this is brainwashing. Can you imagine the amount of brainwashing that could have taken place for this to be happening? How much brainwash would this man have done? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, Pastor Sunday, good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
May God bless you.
Thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Russia Federation.
Oh, good.
Yes. I don't actually know where to start thanking you because this issue has been, it has been an epidemic when it comes to Africa. People are taking advantage of the ignorance and the poor.
Yeah.
They reach themselves. I was so happy when I came across your broadcast.
Yeah.
You actually cleared away the log from my eye. And I'm one of the people you just delivered from ignorance. Because sometimes when you go to all the churches, you came back to your house afraid.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the way they condition your mind, the way they organize you, they make you develop a heart of guilty.
Yeah.
That cannot be accepted by God.
Yeah.
You became confused. You got messed up for the week. You don't know any little thing. You blame it on somebody because your pastor told you somebody is after you or somebody is against you. Maybe your family, your friends. When actually you are just having an ordinary bad day.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but your teachings are so much exemplified, explained in such a way that even a layman can actually understand the game they are playing. Okay.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for God for you. May God continue to empower you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
More.
Wow. Did you see the way they are just see the way this man is forcing grown-up people to behave. See the way he's making grown-up people to behave. People who have their minds. People who are supposed to be grown-ups. They are well-dressed. They are not looking like some shabby people. He has brainwashed them to such an extent that he can do anything he wants with them. He can do anything he wants with them. He can do anything he wants with them because he has brainwashed them. This is how people use your tragedy, your breaking point, to take advantage of you. they use the breaking point of people to take advantage of them. This is what we're seeing right now. Use your breaking point, your sorrow, your challenge, your problem that you are going through. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, Dr. Sunday.
We're hearing you. Who is calling, please?
This is Pastor Johnny from Canada, Vancouver.
Yes, Pastor.
How are you, sir? I appreciate what you're doing today. The reason why it's a little bit touchy for me is because I kind of share in some kind of emotion in this area a while ago. The truth of the matter, Pastor, is that, those pastors that are doing these things, they are not going to change. The people that we are hoping, this word will reach are the members, that are there.
Yes, sir.
So that the word of God can liberate them and remove them from this, because already these pastors are charlatans. They are thieves, they are rogues. And then that man that you showed earlier that was embarrassing that couple in church.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, but that pastor is a stupid idiot. I'm sorry that he's just an idiot. I'm sorry, he's just an idiot. Because how can you do that to a human being? That is depraving. What you have done is you have bastardized his mind. For the rest of his life, he's going to be seen as a failure, somebody who has deceived and come on, people make mistakes. Look at, just like you quoted the scripture the other time about the woman that was caught. The Bible said this woman was being caught in the very act.
Yeah.
And Jesus did not condemn her.
Yeah.
Jesus said to her, you know what, I will not condemn you. Just go and don't do it again.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. If you wanted to punish the man, there's a counseling session where you bring him into the office, counsel him, and then worst case scenario, they won't marry, and then he will move on with his life. The reason why it's touching for me is that so many years ago, I attended Christ Embassy, and I loved the church at the time. All of a sudden, I started to realize that they wanted us to be close and get closer and closer to the pastorate. And I started to suspect quite a bit. What they did was they turned my mother against me, and, they made my mother a deaconess. They were always telling my mom to tell, me that things like, if you cannot manage your home, you're worse than an infidel. And I remember that I got engaged, to a sister to be married. And then they sent this pastor to me, and they were telling me that I can't marry this particular one. I'm like, why? Why can't I marry her? What's wrong with her? Well, the pastor frowns at it. And I was like, that is not right. You cannot tell me, this is the person of my choice. This is the person of my choice. So anyway, I had to remove myself from the ministry. And I found out that the individual that they sent to me to do this thing, they did it to him. And then not only that, they excommunicated him in public for something that he did not do.
Wow.
The reason was because he was in love with somebody he wants to marry. It wasn't as if he was committing sin with his sister. He just chose that particular one. But they said, no, Pastor Chris says you must not marry this one. You must marry Deola. Deola is the one that pastor has chosen for you. And he says, but I don't love Deola. They even sent one of the associates to Benin when he was doing his engagement to scatter the engagement. When the pastor that went to Benin could not scatter the engagement, they sacked the pastor. I was all these things. I was there first. We had to leave. See,
this thing is serious.
Pastor,
you witnessed this thing by yourself.
Pastor, we were there. See, you see the pastor that we're talking about that is holding us. When if you notice recently, his wife left him and has moved on.
Yes.
When that whole thing started, we were there. We were there when all this, because all he has is female secretary. He doesn't have any male. There are people who had walked in and seen very, very wrong and explicit things that if the mouth says it's just that money and power has taken over this whole thing.
But why is it that you are talking about Chris Oyakilome?
Yes.
But why is it that people are still following him?
Sir, people are following him because they are stupid.
Is it because he has hypnotized them, he has brainwashed them like
that? Yes. were there firsthand. As a matter of fact, I know people that left the church because of these things. They left it, but the unfortunate thing is that, you know, he has this sweet way of talking. I've been able to go. These people, we know them rich house. We know them rich house for believe. I know people that I can tell you, speak to this person, they will tell you of these people's character. We know them rich house. It's just that success and money has already elevated them beyond where people can't touch them anymore. That's just the sad part of this whole thing.
No, but that is evil empire. It's an evil empire that guy is building.
It's just wrong. It's wrong. They manipulate people, and then not only that, some of the pastors that he has, he chose their wives for them. You go and marry this one. There's a particular one that used to pastor in Port Harcourt. When the guy got to Port Harcourt, he decided he wasn't going to go out with the one that he had been going out since, because that's the one that they attached to him for many years. He decided to make a choice for himself. They said, no, you can't marry this one. You must marry this one. When the guy rebelled, they fired him.
This Oyakilome guy has to be exposed. People have to know about this. Because I never knew about this until I started hearing.
We were members of the church back in the day. I was in the music ministry. It was power control. When I left Christ Embassy and went to be with Pastor Sam Adeyemi, they sent emissaries to Pastor Sam to discredit my personality. They told my pastor that I was fornicating with every sister in the choir because they just wanted to damage my image. Why? Because I was not going to play ball. I was not going to submit to the wickedness that was going on in that ministry. And the Bible says that people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. When the people don't have knowledge, and then you are now capitalizing on the fact that they don't have knowledge, and you are not then giving them the knowledge of the word of God that should set them free, your judgment is worse. That's why it's touching me so badly. And to the glory of God, sir, I give thanks to God that I left when I left, and I married the sister of my choice. Today, December 13 is our 20th wedding anniversary, and I give glory to God. We have 3 beautiful children. God has blessed me. God has elevated me, and I might not have everything in the world, but you know what? I have God. I have the peace of God that passes all understanding, and I am rejoicing and I'm happy.
But are people afraid of these things are supposed to be on television, in radio, newspaper, this kind of betrayal, brainwash. This guy has turned our people to slaves.
The wife that left him now can talk. Even now, the wife can talk.
Yeah, the wife
One of the things that the wife said is sexual infidelity.
Yes.
So it was rampant. It happened as it happened. It happened. It's not one, not two. It happens.
Wow.
For the wife to eventually finally leave him, that means she got to the place where water passed Gary.
Wow.
This is wickedness, sir. It's wicked, and these things have to be exposed. These things have to be exposed, and it's just unfortunate that people are still gullible. People are still elements of deceit, and they are not seeing their front. Thank God for that brother that spoke yesterday, the one that gave an analysis where he told his friend to go and test his pastor, and he tested the pastor with 5,000 naira. Thank God for people like that. Thank God for people like that. If that guy did not at least listen and try, he will probably still be in that bondage. Sir, if we can win them one at a time, we are making impact. And God bless you. I pray for you, sir. Every day when I remember you, that the cover of God, the umbrella of God, the shadow of God, the Bible says that as you run into in the name of the Lord, it will be a strong tower for you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. The wing of God will continue to cover you, and you'll be completely covered under the power of the Almighty God.
Amen.
Nothing, no dart of the enemy that's thrown your way would hit you.
Yes.
I respect you for what you are doing, and these are things that we have been thinking about for many years, but we're scared and afraid to come out and say, because they've deceived us so many times with, you cannot touch the anointed. If you touch the anointed, you all that nonsense. Let me
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you,
God
sir.
bless. You see what these people are doing? They are mesmerizing people, taking advantage of people just because they have problems. You see, you are being hypnotized because of your sorrow, because of your breaking point, because of your, of your challenge in life. So they use your challenge in life to make you into a slave, to make you into their play toy. These human beings have become like play toy to these pastors. They are just playing with their intelligence. They are just playing with these human beings as if they are playing. I think they are playing with toys. These so-called pastors are narcissistic people. They are narcissists. They are narcissistic. They are not normal. They are sick. Why should they be taking pleasure in humiliating other human beings like this? Why should they be taking pleasure in just laughing, turning people to laughing stock? I don't see how God will not punish these people, these so-called pastors. I just don't see how God will not punish them, because unless, I don't even know how they will repent right now. Maybe the guy is right. Maybe we just need to just pray for the people who are under their bondage, because they have gone so far. What they are doing is totally wrong, and is completely dehumanizing. You don't just begin to dehumanize human beings like this. Mess them up. Use them, take advantage of them, and see their situation, their problems, and use it to just make them into your plaything. Who is calling from where?
I'm calling from Nigeria.
Yes.
My name is Chirin.
Yes, my sister.
You see, I am suggesting this has been going on for a long time, and people know. Beyond we blaming the pastors, I think the congregation also have a blame, because beyond what we preach, the Bible is so clear. It said, my people are perished because of lack of their knowledge.
Yes.
The word of God is sure. Why would we want to go and sleep with a pastor? It's bad, yes, I know. He's preaching about fornication and adultery, and you go to sleep with him because of what you want to get.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, he's going to push you away. So beyond us blaming the pastors, we are also adults. We know what is wrong. Let us also take the blame.
Yes.
2, for Pastor Chris, everybody knows that. We know. We preach that when you give your life to Christ, it's your life. It is your relationship between you and God, between you and your family. And if the family is divided, there's something fundamentally wrong. Remember that Jesus Christ is supposed to be our focus here, not man.
Yes.
These people are men before of God.
Yes.
Meaning that when they preach and if their lifestyle does not tally with what they do, they have to be able to step back and look. But people just want the miracle. It's happening here, it's happening now. They tied my goat and you want to go and receive miracle. My uncle in the village wants to kill you now. Come and receive your miracle. Come and collect handkerchief to go and get money now. So first of all, it is our greed that takes us. So when the thing hits you, start saying pastors have deceived you.
Yes.
You forget that they say do not. The 10 commandments is there. Your love for God and your love for man.
Yes.
So if you love really God and you love yourself and you love what God loves, you wouldn't think about sleeping with a pastor because he's married.
Yes.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't think about going to do certain things. You want to go and get quick money. Everything is laid out. There are seasons in life. You will learn, you will sow, you will reap.
Yes.
People want to wake up and see an overnight miracle. So I know that the church has lost it. And I don't know how the church, the organization as a head can come together to put a stop to this. Some of the videos I see them, I laugh. I don't need them. I don't need anybody to tell me that these guys are from the pit of hell. I don't need to. The pain is terrible. It's become more about money. Nobody talks about Christ anymore. Nobody talks about rapture. Nobody talks about even your life as a believer and what you stand for. It's painful. So right now, sometimes I even get embarrassed talking about it or even coming to social media to discuss that, because it's like what our dirty linen as Christians outside. It's not about calling them different names and all that. What do we need to do? We need to get back to our first love,
Yes.
Righteousness. We need to get back to what Christ stands for. It's painful. But what do we do? Someone talked about Pastor Chris. I know. And thank God the guy took some very serious steps and left. Others stayed because I heard that they give them money. They pay them serious amount of money. So because the money keeps flowing, you keep remaining relevant. They stay. By the time they know it, their heart and their soul is dead to everything about God. It
So
becomes activity.
they have been compromised.
Exactly. It's already activity. They know. So even when you, as a believer, when you commit sin, your heart pricks you. What you've done is wrong. Even as an unbeliever, when you've crossed the borderline. Now, these are believers that go to church. Some of them are minstrels, supposed minstrels. You sin because of money. You now see what is bad. You see pastors commit sin. You don't even pray for them anymore. You keep collecting the money because you want to remain relevant. And then tomorrow you come and say you've been deceived. Who deceived who? Yeah. We know the truth now.
Yes.
We know the truth. If you know that this guy is crossing the borderline and you cannot step out, you can write him, make it clear that you've spoken to him, let him know that at least God knows that you've seen the truth. You've spoken up with the truth. Don't just go back and then keep quiet and then you'll be dying inside. We are adults. When a man crosses the borderline, you know. The brother that I just talked about his anniversary, I am very impressed with him. I am happy he left. But others stayed back because of what they are getting.
Wow.
They're dashing them money, they're enjoying the money, and they're remaining relevant. They're taking them all over the world, they're flying them, their name is all over the media. People are clicking and liking them. That is where the Christianity has been dropped over. People that want to do the things that they pleases them. The world we live in, they want to be accepted by man.
Yes.
But you forget that you cannot be a man pleaser and be a God pleaser at the same time.
Right.
Everybody, Christ never promised us life without strife.
Yes.
But what we know is that in Christ there is victory. And there must be a fight before victory. Right. People want it the very easy way. Nobody wants to fight. Nobody wants to labor anymore. Nobody wants to labor. People want to get it easy. And because I saw Dr. Sunday Adelaja making money in Russia, he forgot that the guy has paid the price. There is a story to the glory. People just want to wake up and make money and be able to, show off. Is this self-love? I want to be seen. I want to be known. I want to belong is what is killing Christians.
Which is greed.
It's killing Christians. And people forget the scriptures are being fulfilled daily in our very eyes. The end is near. Nobody's talking about righteousness. Nobody's talking about when you get before God, what will you say? What have you accomplished? Will you say because you're in Redeem? Will you say because you're in Christ Embassy? Will you say because you are believing in one? No! It is your personal assignment. If you don't fulfill it, you are gone for. You won't say Pastor Chris deceived you. Yes, he has his own issues, but the Bible is there. Why follow him? Why shut up? Why allow others to fall into the same ditch when you saw it crystal clear?
Yes.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Wow. Yeah, it's a pity that Nigeria has gotten to this place. So people's pain, people's tragedy, people's breaking point is what pastors take advantage of. Pastors take advantage of your sorrow, your pain, and put you under captivity. Look at what they are doing with people now. They make them look as if they are not human beings again. They just humiliate them. They play on their intelligence. They push them around. They just disgrace these people. It is so sad. It's a pity. I mean, it is not something that should be happening. It's just a pity. It's just a pity. I mean, what they are doing to our people is just too much. This shouldn't be happening to anybody. I mean, this is somebody's wife, somebody's mother.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, sir. I'm calling from Oxfordshire in England.
Yes, please.
Yes, I just want to contribute to all that you've been saying. I've been a secret follower of yours since about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And all the things that you've been saying is just the Lord has been using you, because this is what I've been feeling for the past about 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
I was completely disillusioned with churches because I know that they are not preaching the doctrine of Jesus Christ. And there was a time that I got fed up and I just stayed at home for about 10 months. I didn't go to church and everything. Then I felt prompted to go to another church, which was local to me. So I started going, and a lot of things just started happening. I went on a mission trip with them to Tanzania in May, And all along, I've been thinking that this man is a genuine man of God. I've been sowing seed and giving money. There was a time that his church just because he's an Indian pastor. A lot of the majority of the attendees were Indians, and we were just two Africans, one Zimbabwe family and my family. And they left in one day because they discovered who this guy is. But to me, I thought he was a perfect man. So I gave him money. He said he was going for a treatment. I withdrew all my money, gave it to him. I was sowing seed and, just supporting the ministry. And as soon as he started getting one or two English people around, he started being nasty. All the doctrines, the pattern of the doctrine changed. And he was like, no more speaking in tongues and this and that. And, he was all now trying to control. And then he went and changed the name of the church. And he had another ministry that he set up in India. Anyway, to cut the long story short, he started asking me to put money in this account. And then I had 3 different accounts that I put money in. And the last straw was when before I went to Tanzania, he did he submitted the church account to charity commissions, and he displayed all these accounts to the church, and I saw what he did. The amount that he said that was paid from the church was like about £800, and I knew that I gave more than 5 times more than that. So I knew that account was cooked up. So I looked at him and he looked at my eyes. And then the next week, I still put money in the account he gave me to be putting money in. And then 2 weeks after, he then came to me and said, oh, don't put money in the account anymore because now the church has opened another account. So I started putting money in the other account, the one that I think was right for the church. And then we went to Tanzania. Then on the way there, when we got there, I went with his wife. This man was like trying to control me. I'm a designer by trade, and he was like saying I should not take my designer bag, I should not do this, I should go to charity shop and get second-hand clothes to wear and this and that. And I didn't listen to him. And then we got there, and I saw the work that the Swedish couple that were there, they were doing. It was fantastic. They saw their homes in Finland, and they would move over there and looking after all these, my brothers and sisters. I gave my testimonies, and it was, powerful. And the whole place erupted, and all my sisters and brothers, they all rushed to me, and I was hugging and kissing them. I didn't do as if I was superior to them or anything. I told them how they can, I motivated them in a way that anything is possible if they put their mind in, their trust in Christ and work hard, they will get there. They can even be like Obama and things like that. I just encouraged them. And I could see from then that the wife of the pastor was like not really happy with me. And then a few days after, I told our hostess that, how much does it cost to, does it cost her a month to, sponsor these children? And he said about $100. I said, well, I would, like and do something directly to Africa because I know that these are my people. I don't want to go through, middleman. So I told the woman, and she said she'll give me the account. So in order not to show as if I went behind this lady's back and her husband. So I told her later that, look, this is what I discussed with this lady that I would do. And it was 4 of us, 2 white English guys, and herself and myself. She's Indian, and the husband is Indian. And I'm the only African there. So the next thing when I told her, she just attacked me straight away, and she said, "I'm trying I should come through their ministry and put money in their ministry. They have a 17 years relationship with this couple. They have to take the money and channel it to them, and this and that. That I'm trying to do high service and this." And I thought, wow, they reduced me to tears. I was crying because I thought I was trying to do good. I saw the need there. I even saw a premature baby and 2 children that were not being catered for. They were just left no food, nothing. And I said I was trying to adopt those people, and they said, no, you can't do that. You have to come through us. And I thought, why should I come through you? You are from India. All the money that I've been paying in the church, you are taking it to India. But this one is for my people in Africa. I want to be part of it. No, they didn't. So when we came and they were big, she became really nasty. They ostracized me. And when we came back, I wanted to come home. I just, dissociated myself with them. I waited till the end of the mission. On our way back, I just, stopped them with, I stopped fitting with them because I knew that she was very hostile. She would not talk to me and everything. So I came home, and then on our way home, the pastor said we should come down to his house for prayers. He lied. I went there. The next thing, he started attacking me and shouting and calling me all sorts of names, telling me that I'm controlling, I cannot be under authority, I cannot be this and that and that. And because I have been fighting depression for a long time because of what I've gone through churches, what church pastors have done to me, they have drained me, they have taken money from me. There is another pastor from MFM Church that took £21,500 from me. He defrauded me. He lied to me because he knew that I was depressed. He called me and said he was on a mountain somewhere. God showed me to him and blah, blah, blah. He came and he started, I don't know what he did. Maybe he put something in his mouth. Well, I knew that I started transferring money to him, transferring money. When he couldn't get any more money, he stopped calling me. And up till now, 5 years next month, I still can't get my money back. And so this pastor,
why didn't you go to the senior pastor, Olukoya? What was the name? Why didn't you call the Olukoya to report him?
Yes. I even told him. I told him about the case. I told him because he was my mentor. I told him about because I don't really care about him anymore because I told him about this man, and he even made me to apologize. He said I should send him an apology.
Wow.
Because I shouted at his pastor, he said I should send an apology. And I sent the apology that until I do the apology, I sent the apology that it will help me to get my money back. Up to now, nothing. All he did was just to send me $4,000. And I said, I really do not want handout. I want my money because it's the money that I'm using for my business. And now my hands are tight. That money, I took the equity on my house, and I can't even continue my business anymore. I'm feeling better now that I want to go back into my business, and I can't because I don't have the capital. When somebody saw me, a single parent, and completely, emptied my account, and up till now, I cannot get my money back. And this is what, these people are up to. I don't really care about any doctor, anybody anymore. He's my mentor. He led me to Christ. And I don't care if he's listening now, anybody's listening, because what they are doing to people, they are trying to drive people to commit suicide. Because they would do everything to you, and they expect you to be quiet and not say anything. And I've gone to the point where I'm, taking this thing legally now. I'm approaching the police now because I've spoken to a solicitor and they said it's a fraud. So I have to refer you to serious fraud office because I was vulnerable.
I heard that Oyedepo was stopped from coming to England because of these kind of things. So I heard that Oyedepo has been stopped to come to England because.
Oh
of
yes.
So maybe that same thing is waiting for this other guy.
Yes. I have gotten the charity number because when I told him that I would, this was like 2014 when I said I would contact the police. He told me that that the police cannot do anything because it's not the church, it's the pastor. But it's under the church. It's under MFM Church. And I'm ready to go any length now. And I don't care if he's listening, if anybody is listening.
Yes, they have just taken control of the mind of our people. It's called brainwashing.
Yes.
It's hypnotism. They need to be locked up. All these people belong in prison. They need to be locked up.
Yes. The pastor, even the pastor's name, I don't care. I can say his name. His name is Dakpo Oluwawole. He stole my money.
Is he based in Nigeria?
Me.
Is he based in Nigeria?
He's from MFM Dustin branch.
He's in the UK, eh?
Yes, he's in the UK, yes.
You are supposed to have reported him to police long time ago now.
I should have, yes, because I'm battling with a depression. It's done by all these pastors. Because when people of God, when the so-called men of God, there is nothing called men of God. We are all children of God.
Of course.
When they start defrauding you and controlling you and telling you what to do and what not to do, they drive you to the wall. They drive you bonkers. That's what happened. That's what these people were doing. They are, brainwashing you and trying to make, subdue you and trample all over you, making you to want to kiss their excuse my language, their asses.
Yes.
They're terrible.
Wow.
Now I only believe in, I'm only, doing the will of God now. I'm doing
only Jesus. It's the only thing that matters is personal relationship with God. That's the only thing that matters. Your own personal relationship with God. That's it.
That's what matters. Yeah, that's what matters. Yeah. That's what really matters. Yes. Not going through all these people.
Thank you so much.
Do you know, sir?
Yes.
This pastor, he defrauded in America and he was in prison in America.
Wow. And they made him a pastor in the UK.
It was not until I told the GO now found out that he said something about him before he now said that, he said something about me. Do you know that he was in prison? I said, so you knew he was in prison when you asked me, when I told you that you defrauded me, and you now telling me you now told me to write him an apology letter and even to phone him and ask for forgiveness on my money? That is, that is evil.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
It's sad. It's sad. Thank you.
It is sad. It is sad.
Thank you so much. Please keep yourself from these people. God bless you. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. So these are the kind of things that are happening in churches, and they are taking advantage of people because they use your problem, they use your challenges to oppress you. So because they know that when you have a problem, you are desperate. They use your desperation to manipulate you. So that's what we are talking about. When you are in a turning point, when you have a turning point in your life, they try to take advantage of you. That's what they do. They take advantage of you using your turning point, your what do we call it? Your breaking point. Your breaking point. Yeah, that's what they do. They use your breaking point to oppress you. It's a pity. It's a pity. Yeah, these are magicians who just take advantage of the vulnerable. And it is treacherous. It is treacherous to take advantage of vulnerable people, weak people, people who cannot defend themselves, people who cannot, people who cannot protect themselves, people who are in a weak situation. It is horrible to be doing that. We must address this situation, and we must get the whole of Africans, all the churches, all the Christians, real Christians in our continent to begin to speak out against these malpractices, taking advantage of poor people, ordinary people, and oppressing them, basically. Just oppressing people and, taking out their money, taking away their money and taking advantage of them, exercising their power and authority, control over people. It's just very sad. Take this up and begin to expose these people. If we don't expose them, if we don't talk about it, they are going to keep on walking about, and everybody will be thinking they're okay. It's just going to make our people lose their mind. That's what they're doing. They make our people lose their mind and their common sense. So many of them are using witchcrafts. Many of them are using divination and familiar spirit. You see, this one is using. You see what they're using? Is that scent? Ooh, wow, perfume. The woman even opened her mouth to the perfume to be put in them. Can you imagine that? Perfume into the mouth of the people, their face. You see, this is witchcraft right there in the church. Witchcraft is happening in the broad daylight in the name of Jesus. And they are using the name of Jesus for this witchcraft. It is horrible. Can you see how desperate people are and how gullible they are? How gullible they are. They put this spray in their mouth. They get this. I mean, what is it that these people? What is it that they cannot do with people in Nigeria? They turn them to animals without any will or wish. They can do anything to them. And they don't even resist. Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes.
This is Abimbola from UK.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm really touched with the sister that just phoned about what the pastor did to her in UK.
Yes.
I don't know if we can signpost her to some people that can help her, because that's safeguarding issue in UK. That shouldn't be, of course I understand if it's in Nigeria, but in UK there is a lot of agencies that can help her. Because this is a financial safeguarding. It's nothing to do with the church, it's everything to do with the individual.
If there is somebody, and the church too, because the church is covering up those individuals.
Yeah,
so
but if
the church is covering up the individual, they are a corporate.
Yeah, definitely. I think she definitely needs the support, and she needs somebody to really be there for her, because you can just hear the being a victim of all these people is really, really bad. And if you can help them to get the justice, I think that would be a good point.
And she's also depressed too, she says.
Yes. And as she said that they're pushing people to commit suicide, I can just sense her pain. I can just sense her pain. So she definitely needs the support. She needs our prayer, and she needs our practical support to get the justice. Not thinking of taking the church to the courts, but taking the individual.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir. Yeah. Bye.
Wow. See what these people are doing. What is using perfume? Putting perfume in people's mouths. What is that? These people need to be prosecuted. They need to be taken to court. They just abusing people of God. Hello. Yes.
Good evening, Pastor Sunday.
Yeah, we are hearing you, sir. Who is calling from where?
My name is Henry Sunday. I'm calling from Sweden.
Yes, please.
Yes, I want to use this opportunity to thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you once again, because it's not easy to stand.
See what they are doing with our people.
It's not easy to stand to expose some of these fake pastors, because they have rendered a lot of people useless.
Yes.
Putting confusions everywhere. Brainwashing people. For instance, there is a place I attend church here in Stockholm here, where I'm living. I have a kind of issue with the government, with the government. So I ran to my pastor. I asked my pastor to help me out to arrange a lawyer for me. He couldn't even wait me to say it out, and he just said he didn't know anyone. The way he responded back to me was so embarrassing. I was like, what? This is my lawyer, this is my pastor? Even if he didn't know anyone, is that how he's going to tell me that he didn't know anyone? With such manners.
Horrible.
Very terrible. And they still call themselves a man of God? Just imagine what they're doing people in Africa.
Yeah. This is another book here that all of you need to read, The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius. If you don't have it yet, please go get it as fast as possible. And this one is Dignity of Labor. The dignity of labor is essential for all of us to be able to, know the power of the dignity of labor to develop our nation. This is a new book here. Discover the source of your latent energy. Yes, who is talking, please?
Hello?
Who is calling from where?
Hi, Pastor Sunday. This is Yemi. I'm calling from Oklahoma City in the U.S.
Yes, please, Yemi.
Thank you, Pastor, for what you are doing, sir.
Thank you so much.
You have given many of us the platform to be able to express what we've been thinking about for years. And I cannot thank you enough for the opportunity that you have given to many of us.
Wow.
Yes, sir. This issue that we've been talking about, is not peculiar to only the African church.
Okay.
It is happening here in America,
Wow.
in the Nigerian churches here in America.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Few years back, when my wife and I, when we got married, she took me to a Nigerian church. For years, I stopped going to Nigerian church. I started attending an American church. And then when we got married, my wife was not comfortable in the American, setting. So I decided to follow her to the church that she was attending before we got married.
Okay.
And when I got there, well, when I was in Nigeria, I attended Deeper Life, through my teenage years. And when I was on campus, I went to Unilad. I was also in Deeper Life Campus Fellowship. And so there, Pastor Kumuyi, I believe, has really equipped us to know the truth of the Word of God.
Yeah.
So when I got to this church, I realized, I told my wife, I said, the pastor here doesn't have a testimony, but my wife, kept saying, well, let's stay there, we're going to get blessed and all that. And then one day, I'm the type that I'm very active, with what is going on in my community and all that. And so I posted something on Facebook one day, only for the pastor to call me, during the workers' meeting. I was the head of protocol. And he sent somebody to call me into the workers' meeting. And I got there only for the pastor to start, he started showing me out, criticizing me in the open about my Facebook comment. And so I said, really? And so I didn't really say anything. And I respected him. I let him finish his conversation and all that. And when he finished, I said, well, thank you, Pastor. And I went back to my assignment. And then we had a brother who is a professor here in my city, who got another teaching position in another state. And so I called the main president. I said, look, we have to celebrate our brother, since he's leaving for another state. And so the main president said I should organize a program where, we make a contribution and celebrate this brother. Only for one of the men who happens to be the pastor's secret agent, now called a meeting behind my back and told other members of the fellowship that the money we were contributing should be used to buy a first-class ticket for pastor. So one of the brothers in that meeting now called me and said, look, this is what transpired in the meeting last night. So I said, okay, how come you guys didn't call me to this meeting? And I said, well, since you were not the one in charge, I will call the person who said the money should be diverted. So I called the guy. I said, why are we using the money to buy a first-class ticket for pastor to fly to Chicago? This money was meant for Dr. So-and-so, and the money should be used for the purpose. And so they went behind my back, and then they went to tell the pastor and all that transpired. And then the pastor mounted the pulpit and started using me to preach that we challenge his authority. And so this time around about tithing, so I made a video, and I said tithe should be what we do as people of God to help the house of God. And that there is nothing anybody can do if you don't pay or give your tithe, And this man of God will say that anybody that leaves his church, that his life will go south, And this is what he has been using to keep people under his, tutelage, for a very long time. So when I made this video, this man now went and, the sermon he preached the following Sunday after my video was actually about you and about me, saying that the reason I did that video is because I'm doing a stupid PhD, and that our life will go south. you know, and I've left his church now for 3 years, and nothing has really happened to me.
What kind of
You know,
church?
in
What
fact,
does he have? Does he have a name? Does the church have a name?
it's CAC. It's CAC.
Wow. Horrible.
Yes, sir.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yes. And so right now in my city, Dr. Sunday, there is a revival going on here right now.
Wow.
You know, as a result of what you are doing, many young people are rising up and they are challenging, you know, all these, you know, ungodly practices, you know, in the Christendom, you know, and so we cannot thank you enough, you know, for what you are doing. You have given many of us courage, you know, to stand up, you know, and speak up against the evil that is, you know, going on, you know, in the Church of God. And so when you talk about this, please remember that, you know, it is not peculiar to the churches in Nigeria or to churches in Africa. It is right here in America.
Wow.
Yes,
Thank
here in America.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Yeah. God will keep you. God will bless you. You know, and God will continue to use you to be blessings to many people.
Thank you,
so that the people of God can be fully liberated.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you. You see what they are doing? These Babalawo pastors, what are they spraying to people? I mean, how can they be doing this to human beings? These people are just witch doctors, Babalawo doctors, juju masters, who are in the church pretending to be pastors. It's just a pity. It's just a pity. And see our people. I'm just looking at this video here. I am appalled. I'm appalled. But, well, what do you say? When, you know, we have seen comb, we have seen shears, we have seen, now we are seeing water, just water in the people's mouth. Either it's water or ororo, they call it here. Ororo is like oil. You know, whatever it is criminal. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please. Who is calling from where?
Hi, good day, sir. This is Pajero from New York City.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. I really enjoy your program. Thank you for, you know, sharing the light on these fake pastors that we have today.
It's a pity what they are doing with our people is appalling, I tell you.
It's appalling, sir. It's appalling. I remember when I was in Nigeria, I used to, when I used to go to churches in Nigeria, I used to see so many things, and sometimes I keep wondering, like, with all the churches that we have in Africa, all the churches that we have in Nigeria, still, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of poverty, like there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of nobody's helping each other, all we think about is spiritual. Oh, who's going to help me? You have a little problem, you run to all these fake pastors, and these fake pastors, these are Babalawo worshippers. These are witchcraft agents that are using their charms or whatever on you to brainwash us, especially Africans. You know, because I've been in the United States for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Christian. I worship God. I believe in God. If you look at the great man that is turning this country around, most of them are not even Christians.
Yeah.
Japanese. If you go to Japan, because I traveled to Japan last year, when I was in Japan, these guys, I would say 80% of Japanese, they don't even worship, they don't practice Christianity.
Yeah.
And yet, look at their economy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at China. China, they're Buddhists. I mean, if you look at all these other great countries, they're not even Christians.
Yeah.
And yet, they're doing well. They're helping their people and all of that. But we were so brainwashed, especially in Africa, that sometimes I don't even understand what is going on with us. There's a lot of great people in Nigeria, especially where I'm from. There's a lot of great people in Nigeria.
But religion has messed people's lives up. Religion.
I've messed everybody up, sir. I've messed sometimes I just look at people, I'm like, what is going on with us? We have great minds. We have doctors. We have great minds in Africa. And yet, we are so brainwashed by religion. I've never seen anything like this before. It's so appalling, and it's a damn shame. You know, I just thank God for people like you that are using your platform to educate people now to understand that before you go into any church, you got to really think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's good to love God, all right? I'm not against any, like, whatever religion you want to practice. If you want to practice any religion, that's fine. But you got to understand that nowadays there's a lot of fake religions, and these religions, especially with the churches, have rendered a lot of people useless.
Yeah.
That is just the fact, especially in Africa.
Yeah.
Have rendered too many people useless. If you go and they're like, I'm watching your video and the pastors are putting the perfume on their mouth or whatever, you might get your healing, but when you leave, the repercussions that comes with it, that is what people don't think about.
Yeah, it's worse.
That's what they don't think about.
Yeah.
Your problem is going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And so you keep coming back and giving them your money. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
But people don't get it. You know, thank you very much, sir. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said, let people get education. People should read the Bible. But when you are reading the Bible, read books too. Develop your mind. Because it is only how you read, how much book you read, that will help you to be able to understand the Bible. And if you have only been going to those kind of churches and you'll be listening to their messages, you'll be interpreting the Bible according to what they have taught you. To make them into their captives, into their slaves, just because these people are in desperate situation. And since they are in desperate situation, they take advantage of them, and they are using their problems, against them. And that is so sad. That's so sad. Yeah. So, if you know anybody that is still in Nigeria or goes to Nigerian churches, help them to know that they are being brainwashed. They are being brainwashed. Okay, we have seen this one already, right? The comb. How can respected men of God like this be going back to idolatry, witchcraft, right in the church? This is appalling. Can you see how people are grown-up people, educated people, bringing all kind of combs to church just for some miracles? It is disgraceful. I mean, this is disgraceful. I don't even know what will happen to, when Westerners see this. I mean, this is pure witchcraft. This is pure witchcraft. And it's a pity that, this is happening in the 21st century. This is totally against what the Bible says we should do. Hello? We have a caller here. Hello?
Hello, Pastor?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, who is calling from where?
My name is Clara. I'm calling from Houston.
Yes, please.
Oh my God, this is a mind-blowing platform. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Before I migrated to Houston, I was in London.
Okay.
And I came across a man of God that I've known from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria anyway.
Okay.
And it happens that then I was looking for a paper. You see, why most of us fall into their trap is either looking for a paper, looking for a husband, looking for children, and they will take advantage of it.
I see.
So when I went to see the man of God, he gave me his phone number to call him.
Right.
But one man told me, don't go alone, go with someone else. So I went with a colleague for my place of work, and we went, and while I was calling him on phone, he was the one asking me, where are you, where are you? I said, okay, we are coming. He said, we? I said, yes, we are two. He said, no, that he thought I'm the only one coming. I said, no, that I brought my friend too, that she's also having a problem. So when we get to the place where he stayed, the first thing he said is that we should be seeing him one after the other. I said, okay. He went into one room. He said the first woman should come. My friend now entered. He didn't even, according to my friend, the next thing he said was, you need to sow a seed. The woman said, I have not even said why I came. You are telling me to sow a seed. The woman now left. Then it was my own turn. When I entered, he said, how long have you been in UK? He said, what kind of job do you do? I said, I'm into healthcare setting. He said, okay.
am I married? Then I wasn't married. I said no. He said, okay, that he also prayed for me to get married and get my papers. But before then, that I need to sow a seed. I said, but I don't have any money with me here. He said, yes, that I can come back tomorrow to bring the money. So the next day I was going and I said, let me just try him because people have been telling me about him. I told my friend, let's go. My friend now said, okay. When we got in there, lo and behold, I didn't even tell my friend how much I put in the envelope and how much my friend too didn't even tell me how much she put in the envelope. But as God may have it, we only put 20 pounds each.
Yeah.
He was so angry. He was so angry. I said, but this is my own widow's mind. This is what I have. And you said it is sowing of seed.
They don't like small money.
You don't have to tell me how much I'm to pay, how much I'm to sow.
Yeah.
You know. But what surprised me was this, Pastor. When I got home, I've never in my life dreamt having sex in the dream. Do you know that the same man of God walked into the room? I will not say that I was fast asleep in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And the person was lying on top of me.
Wow.
I was trying to push him out. He was still lying on top of me. I screamed. And my next door neighbor ran out and said, what is it? I said, I don't know where I went to yesterday. And the same man appeared to me.
Wow.
He said, the man must be diabolic. I said, I don't know, but I used to hear of him from Nigeria. He said, okay, that I should pray. Meanwhile, the man of God told me in the middle of the night, before I go to bed, that same night, that I should use olive oil, run in the middle of my room, pour it, and be going round and round. And one man said, don't do it. That means he wants you to remain on one spot. And I didn't do that. So the next morning as I was going out, I entered the same bus. And he was the first person inside the bus.
Wow.
The same jacket that I was putting on yesterday that I met him was the same jacket that I wore that same morning. And when he saw me, he didn't even greet me. He didn't even talk to me. And I didn't even talk to him.
Wow.
That was how I left. Ever since then, anything that has to do with all these men of God, I'm tired of them.
Is that a Wuzie or what?
No, it's one Ghanaian, Afakwa.
Wow.
Gabriel Afakwa.
Wow.
He's from Ghana, but I met him in the former church that I attended in Nigeria.
In the UK?
Yes. I met him first in Nigeria, in the church that I attended in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
So that was how I met him in London, in the same bus. I introduced myself to him. I said, I've seen you in my church in Nigeria. He said, okay, how can I help? That was how we started. And before you know it, he was just telling me, thinking that maybe since I said I'm not married, trying to say some things. I said, no, I'm here for business.
So sad. So sad.
So sad. May God bless. At least, we don't miss this, your platform. In fact, I've told people, everybody about you. Every of my friends, we keep on talking about Pastor Sunday. I keep on telling them, don't waste your time telling all these men of God. You can pray yourself out.
Yes.
You can be in your... No one is greater than you. That is one of your books that I love so much.
Yes.
No one is greater than you.
Yes.
You can read it and stand by it. No one is... All this daddy, papa, mama. No, they are just human beings like us.
No one is better than us.
No one is better than us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you.
This is Emeka from Canada.
Yes, Emeka.
Okay, I just want to give some of my own experience and in this issue. So, thank you, sir, for this movement. May God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
May God bless you, sir. Let me give a couple of examples. Okay, last year I moved from where I used to be to a different city, to Vancouver in Canada. And one of the first day I moved, I got a call from my brother in Nigeria.
Okay.
And he called me. I was driving, and I didn't know the place. I was in my phone as a GPS. So he kept calling. I was like, "What's going on? I'm on the highway." So I parked. They were like, "Just clear. I need to tell you this is so important." I told him, "See, if anybody is died, the person should die. When I get home, I will pray. The person will wake up." So I got home. I called him back. He said, Don, see, look at what is going on. My one man of God told me about you. They said you're going to have issues on December 21st last year. I said, okay. So he said, yes, they want to pray, want to go to Camp of Faith. They said you should bring 200,000 for them to pray. I said, okay, 200,000. He said, yes. I said, to pray. He said, yes. I said, okay, sorry. If I pay you guys 200,000 to pray, how much will I pay God to answer? Yes, because your own is to pray. It's God's own to answer. So how much will I pay God to answer? So it happened to be that it was his friend, his best friend, who I know very well. He forms as a prophet and all that. So somehow I know this guy from 2003 when he was still small, but I don't know how he has metamorphosed into this prophet and all that. Yeah. So I told him, see, my brother, you are my brother. I cannot deceive you. Don't follow these people. They are making money with people out of people. Look at what's going on. Do you know that a couple of months ago, he now came back and told me, now my brother had to find a way for him to come down to Canada. A couple of months ago, my brother called me and said he's so disappointed in himself. I said, why? He said, do I know that this guy he has been following, that this guy, that he know that they go for crusade and all those stuff. This guy, he rents in Port Harcourt City. He rents as one prophet and all that. Do I know that this guy is involved in juju? Ooh. I said, what happened? He said that this guy, that he went to one juju priest and they did whatever they did and they swallowed live dove. And do I know that this guy does not climb the pulpit without having sex with a woman to activate the what's it called, familiar spirit or whatever he worked with? That usually he used to ask himself, why is it that before you come to crusade or before you climb the pulpit, you want to have sex with, he tells you that it doesn't matter what he does, that God will do what he wants to do. So I said, wait. Now, does that clarify you that these people are evil? Wow. He was so disappointed in himself for being so close to this person and worship him, and because they were best of friends, right? So gullible. I tell you, sir. Now, do you know this guy? They hired this guy in Port Harcourt mostly by churches who want to raise money. Wow. Because whatever he comes and says, people would give money. Now, because he has divination, he has the spirit of divination. Yeah. And he built it, they pay him on percentage. If he raises 1 million, you pay him maybe 200,000 out of it. He's on percentage. If you don't agree, he's not coming. And because churches want to make money, they keep hiring him. So one practical thing that happens, sir, is this. This guy came to a crusade ground and prophesied to one woman he said he prophesied to one woman. My brother was there and said that the woman's husband has separated from her for the past 5 years, that he's going to give him 24 hours to come back. The woman should do this and do this other one. And the woman did. The next day, this woman's husband came back. So the woman came to testify the second night, sir. And people were jumping up. Do you know that the third night, this same man of God slept with this woman in his hotel room? Wow. So now he took advantage of the woman, with his juju. He got into this woman's head and took this woman to his hotel room and slept with this woman. Wow. The same prophet. Even though the husband has come back. Horrible. So I now ask my brother, so what does this show you? It means that these people are after something, not Christianity. Now, there is one within my town, they call him Tokonadu. Yes. This person is he deceives people with the fact that he says something and the thing happens. I said, see, listen.
Is it in Nigeria?
So in Nigeria, in Aba to be precise.
Wow.
I tell people, see, I have cousins who say that they are what they want to do is scam, internet scam. That they do this thing. Now, what they do is they go do one concoction that and mix it in, test it in their tongue. That whatever they tell you, you must do it. Now they call you on phone and tell you have to pay $10,000 into this account. So as long as you hear them and out, I don't know how they manipulate people, you must do it. This is what this same prophet called himself Tokanadu does, that because he said he's serving the God of Tokanadu, in meaning whatever he says, it happens. I don't see my own in-law is in Malaysia. He came back to Nigeria last year. He went back to Nigeria last year. He went to my brother, to this same prophet, because he is into internet fraud. He went to this same Tokanadu and rekindled his jazz. So I asked, so is this a man of God, a Juju priest? Simple. Is this a man of God, a Juju priest? So people are so brainwashed because you come to church and the prophet tells you, oh, there is somebody here, your name is this, and you have this problem. You think it's true. So these are familiar spirits. People are so brainwashed over this thing. And because you come somebody tells you your life history, you'll be like, oh, this person must be seeing. So they are seeing with familiar spirit too. I've been into ministry since 2004. I know a lot of this. There's one that moved from Aba to Enugu now. His name is David Elijah. That this is one of the worst Juju priests.
Wow.
But he is combing what's it called? He's going everywhere within Enugu zone. Making his money out of people in the name of making miracle or seeing prophecy or whatever. But these are people that I know them. So I feel so bad. Like I tell people, so these things are not real. These things are not real because if you think they are real, why do you keep coming back? If these things are real, why is it that they prophesy today, the next day you have a bigger problem?
And why is Nigeria? Why is Nigeria getting worse? That Nigeria is getting worse and worse.
That is the problem, sir. I told them, see, I know people who tell you they come for family deliverance. So they'll come in and they plant the juju themselves. They'll come in and they'll say, oh, they want to dig this place. They dig it and bring out a pot, maybe with some red cloth and all that. They tell you, oh, now the family screams and say, our deliverer is here. So they planted those things themselves.
Yeah.
So, and it's so heartbreaking that even the top people I used to look up to, LCCG, Oyedepo, Suleiman. I used to look up to these people, like as a baby Christian.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking that they are, now I'm beginning to say, see what? So all the while, it's been deceit, built and built, and the thing is that they keep devising means to keep duping people by every means possible. So I thank you, sir, for this platform once again. And I pray that God would open our eyes in Nigeria, open our people's eyes in Africa as a whole. Because it's heartbreaking. People come to the church and kiss people in the name of miracle. Pastor will choose people who will kiss in the name of miracle. Choose people who... No, it's some of these things, it's so bad to mention. But people will still keep applauding them because they've gotten into people's head that you think without them you are nothing, you are useless. So thank you so much for this program. I am so grateful to God for this kind of move. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And more grace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Wow. These people are just mesmerizing people for nothing, taking advantage of pregnant women, innocent women. I don't know what this pregnant woman want there. What is it? You see, he's doing witchcraft on them. He's doing manipulation on them. He's doing ESP. That is ESP. When you see the way he was doing his hand, can you make it, put it back? You see the way he was doing his hand. Hello? Hello? Who is calling?
This is Isaac.
Isaac from
Texas.
Yes, Isaac, we are hearing you, sir.
Yes, thank you, DSA. Today, I don't want to strengthen the hands of all the people that are hearing you and under the power of God. I keep, the way I saw all the pictures, all the videos going on, I keep on weeping.
Yes.
That's why are they doing our people like this?
Yeah.
But why are they doing our people? This is not good. And the way in the book of Psalm 50:15, for those of them who are listening, Psalm 50:15 says, "Call upon me in the days of difficulty or problem. I will save you, and you shall continue to glorify me."
Yes.
That is what the word of God says. To back this up, DSA, I want the people to have a personal, just like you have been mentioning, personal relationship with God.
Yes.
So that they don't go into all these occultic pastors. I call them occultic because they have nothing good for the people. A vivid and livid example. I remember when I was working back in Nigeria. I had a good post then, but my second in command came to me one day, prostrated, and said, "Please forgive me." I said, "Why?" He said he had killed me already. Yes, that's what he told me. If I mentioned the name of he said he had killed me already. I said, "What do you mean?" He said he had poured juju on my chair, on my table, everything. I said, "What is the purpose of that?" He said, "So that I will die, that soon as I died, he will take over." So I said, then what happens when I did not die? He said he went back to the Baba, and that the Baba told him that he should never try it again if the greatest one he did not work. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, DSA? Okay. So, I mean, what I did not tell any pastor, because if I told them, then I will become somebody that they will use to eat all through their life. They will just be collecting money that, hey, they want to kill you. They want to kill you. So I'm trying to strengthen their hand that they should relate with God, not with my personal relationship with God.
Yes.
Relational Christianity with God is what they should forge from now.
Yeah.
And that will help them.
Thank you.
So that is what I want to put across today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. See these gullible women, they are taking their pregnancy and their children to these pastors. Are they doctors? And he's beating them up. And using ESP on them, he's using witchcraft on them. See the way he's doing his hand, that is witchcraft. That is what TB Joshua is doing. And that is what Chris is doing, Chris Oyakilobe too. That is witchcraft. And the husband is standing there. You have to be at least gentle with a pregnant woman. Hello?
Hello, DSA.
Yes, who is calling from where?
Yeah, this is Grace. I'm calling from the UK.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was listening to a guy today. I think his name is Stephen Akintoya.
Okay.
Akintayo. Stephen Akintayo.
Okay.
And
He's like, he said he's like, I think he's like a motivational speaker and he advises people on businesses.
Okay.
But for the 20, 25 minutes I listened to him, it was all about you.
Wow.
Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Do you know him? There's a guy called Pastor Sunday Adelaja. He lives in the Ukraine. He used to have a very big church. After scandals, and he started saying all sorts of things that the guy is now against Christianity. You know, that all he does now is to insult pastors, and there is a man that used to collect tithe, and he was interested in miracles, that you had a godfather and all that. Why am I saying all those things? Because I don't know if the teaching that you gave that I listened to, if it's the same teaching that this guy listened to. Because I don't,
who told you
that
he listened?
contradicts.
Who told you he listened?
Hello?
He didn't listen. He just saw that I'm showing his pastors. That's what is making them mad.
No, I know he's of the Christ Embassy.
That's why now.
Guy.
That is what is happening.
Yeah, I know. Because after I listened to him, and I went to his page to check it out, and I saw that, okay, he's paying, and he's saying, my pastor, this, that, and that's Pastor Chris, that's Christ Embassy. So I don't know where he's coming from. I said, and when I saw the guy today, I said, I'm going to call tonight to let you know there is a particular guy called Stephen Akintayo that is on the social media.
I don't even need to know him. I don't even to know him. I don't need to know his name. It's immaterial.
So I was like, I'm being blessed listening to Sunday Adelaja. Sunday Adelaja has really opened my eyes to what I never knew before, because I've been in this mess for so many years. Church will tell you this, but after following this your teaching, I've come to realize that it's not all about what they used to tell us.
Yep.
You have to build personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm very, very happy about it.
Yep.
And my life is manifesting in my life, and I can see it, you know. I'm really grateful, Sunday.
Yeah.
More grace to you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. A few times we tried to call, but there were so many callers.
Right.
So it didn't get down to us. Yeah. I just want to thank God for your life and just want to say something briefly.
Yeah, so you see what I've been showing these days, all this while.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
Is this not real hypnotizing and brainwashing?
It is. And unfortunately, a lot of the people, they fall for stuff like this because they were not looking for the truth.
Yeah.
They were not looking for the truth. And this is part of what it is very clear in the scripture. When you study the Bible very well, God doesn't change. Jesus said, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Yes. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given you. So anybody that sincerely wants the truth, God always gets to them. One way or the other, it will get to them. But when God knows people's heart that they are not after the truth, He turns them over to a lie. And this is what is going on. And like I always say, when He turns them over to a lie, the people that comes to perpetrate the lie, God will go punish them, and the people that receive the lie, He will punish them too. Yeah. In the case of what is going on in Nigeria, it is a disaster. Look at what you are showing. I mean, how can somebody subject himself to this type of assault? It is mind-boggling. How can somebody in his reasonable mind allow his or herself to be treated in such a way? And for those that call themselves men of God, they are not men of God. It is obvious. The Bible says that their fruit you shall know them. One thing I just wanted to note, for people listening, haven't you noticed that most of them, they are so quick to call themselves pastors and prophets and apostles? I hardly hear any one of them call himself a teacher of the word. I hardly. Hello? Yeah, because they don't have respect for the integrity of the word of God. They don't care. They don't apply scripture the way it is supposed to be applied. They don't just care. All they are after is just to get money. And this is why they are treating the people like this. They are taking advantage of the ignorance of the people, and they are maltreating them like this, and they are going to stand before God and they are going to be judged. And this thing is no surprise too, because we know that things like this will happen. The time we live in now is this thing is very rampant, and Nigeria is a classic example. I can't begin to list the number of people that I know in Nigeria that are falling for stuff like this. Lots of them. In fact, myself and I were like, where are we going to start from? Who do we start from? I don't stop talking day and night, every day. Because a lot of them, they have been so brainwashed. And that is why I'm grateful that you are doing this. And I know, you are there in Ukraine, but I want you to know what you are doing is affecting life. It is changing life. Yeah. Some people that are really seeing the truth, they are lit and they are changing. It is working, Pastor Sunday. It is working. So don't worry about any kind of rumor they will try to say about you. Because if you were teaching something that is contrary to the word of God, then I'll say, okay. But everything you're saying, it is in line with the scripture, the final authority that God has given to us to use to align our life.
I think it's only because they are being exposed.
It is because they are being exposed. It is because their source of income is being threatened. That is why they are all reacting like this. The other day, I finally heard, what is the name? Adelaja spoke about tithe. That is so, I've never heard such a jargon in my life. I've never heard such a jargon. In fact, it is so preposterous that it is shameful that somebody that calls himself a pastor is speaking about something and cannot use one place in the scripture to back it up. Imagine he's talking about God taking tithe. Who is God taking tithe from? God created the universe and take the tithe of the galaxy. Who is God taking the tithe from? And who is God giving it to? This is pure nonsense. I was telling my wife, I said, if these people understand the Bible, take for example, why would somebody even name a place Shiloh?
The place that has been destroyed.
Thank you. In fact, I was telling my wife, I said, anybody that understands the scripture, you cannot name a place in Shiloh. Why? It is almost like giving birth to a baby boy, and you name the baby boy Judas Iscariot. That shows the level of misunderstanding of the counsel of God. These people, they have no idea what the counsel of God is. Why? Because if any Christian that look at the scripture, you realize that Shiloh was rejected by God because of sinfulness. Anyway, in another sense, it is right that they are calling the place Shiloh, because what is going on here, what was going on in Shiloh that the children of Eli were doing. That's what they are doing too. So it is. So I just want to thank God for you, for everybody that is working with you there. And Pastor Sunday, we are working with you. We are working with you. Believe it. I may not be able to call every time, but we don't keep quiet. By the grace of God, we will continue to do more. We will continue to do more. And these people will continue to be exposed, because what they are doing is illegal. What they are doing is demonic. What they are doing is sinful. These people are serving devil, and they are eating at the table of the devil.
Wow.
At the expense of beautiful people that are supposed to be led and fed in the things of God.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Blessings, Osaro. See what is happening with all these people. Satan is just, these people are just taking advantage of people. They're just messing up people's minds. Just messing up people's minds. I mean, what are these men? These men are being hypnotized. You see that they were normal, they are being hypnotized. Yeah. Okay, we have a caller here. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please. Who is calling?
Hello,
from?
DSA.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
This is Norbert from Germany, sir.
Yes, sir. Nice to hear from you.
I just want to thank you for this platform because you are getting people free and you are opening the eyes of so many of us. I just want to thank you and may you continue. We are all supporting you in our own little area. And the teaching today has really touched me, and that is why I have to make this call. In fact, I am at work now. I'm driving, but I have to make this call. See, I follow you every day at work.
Beautiful.
It has been a great liberation for me.
Beautiful.
And an eye-opener. Pastor Sunday, let me tell you what you don't know.
Yes.
In Germany, or as in Europe, so many black pastors, if you go to their churches, it is full of only black people and you will not find no European inside. Then I begin to ask the question, how comes that if God calls you to minister the gospel in Europe and in your church, you will find only Africans inside. You will not find no Europeans inside. Pastor, I had to confront my pastor. You see, for almost 3 months now, I did backsliding for my church after knowing the truth that you are teaching on this platform. And I confronted my pastor. You said, God sent you to Europe, right? We are in Germany. Now, if I look into our churches, we are Cameroonians, Ghanaians, Nigerians, and all of no German inside. And then I said, Pastor, if you say God called you here in Germany, but in Germany here, they are not black people, they are Germans. How come that your church, there is no German inside?
Yeah.
So, like what you have able to do, Pastor Sunday, you went to the Soviet Union and you have able to change the people's life. And people could see what you have done. That is the result. That is the base of your doctrine. To show that your doctrine is based on the truth. And I want people on this platform to understand that what Dr. Sunday is doing is nothing but the truth, because the truth is a basic concept that nobody needs to tell you about the truth. Each and every mature Christian, you know the truth.
Yeah.
Even right from small. I used to see my 3-year-old daughter. I used to say to her sister, "You are telling lie." What told her that she is telling lie? So you see, the truth right from small, it is already there.
Yes.
You know it.
Yes.
There is no fact to dispute about it. And I just want people to be very vigilant in their various churches, that if you observe your pastor, you will know that all these people are just 419. They are just making interest in their personal pocket, but they are not after the gospel.
Yes.
Because why will you say you're a pastor in Europe and there is no European and you have never preached the gospel? I confronted my pastor one time. I said, "Pastor, why is it that we are not going for evangelism to the white people?"
Yes.
Do you know what he told me? He said, "It's very difficult with the white people." Of course, it's difficult if your basis of doctrine is not on the truth. Because you know, if the people come, they will not listen to you because you are not on the basis of the truth.
Yes.
And most of us are in these churches full there, obeying the pastors, thinking that we are worshiping God. We are just being deceived. And I just want to thank you, DSA, that this platform has able to open my eyes and it has uplifted me. And I'm telling you, it's doing a great job in my life.
Thank you so much.
Just want to thank you, and
it's going to be placing the piece of cloth on people. That is sham. That is a sham. That is a sham right there. That is a sham. It's putting the cloth on people and people are misbehaving. Hello?
Good evening, Dr. Sunday.
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
Yeah, this is Ola from Lagos.
Okay. How are you, sir?
I am doing excellent, sir.
Okay.
First, I want to thank you for all the good work that you have been doing. When I talk to my friends abroad, UK, Canada, because I lived there before, we are talking about these things. We are talking about your teachings, talking about your videos. So the message is spreading across.
Beautiful.
So that is one thing I want you to know. Also, I want you to personally keep showing the videos.
Okay.
Because they take one verse of the scripture, preach it 3, 4, 5 Sundays. So from one video, you can do 4, 5, 10 series about it. Because people are saying, oh, we've seen this before, but there are different principles we can bring out from the same video.
Yes.
Because the people that did not join this platform a month ago did not even see the videos of the things that happened a month ago.
Yes.
So we need to keep running these videos and let people see. Even when you are not there, my wife is not there, let the videos just keep rolling. The ones we have done before. So people go there and they see it.
Okay. And you know, do you have the links? So you have all of them on YouTube and on
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have listened to almost all of your series now.
Okay.
So I know very well. So, but you know, these people come, they don't know anything, they didn't hear you, and they just run and say, oh, what are you talking about? But they won't take time to listen and get the message from the. See, anybody that hear the Kingdom series will not argue with anything this you are doing now.
Yeah.
We just carry their bag. Either they remain a Samuel in the house of Eli, or they carry their bag and just leave.
Yeah.
So, other thing I want to talk probably, most of the problem we are seeing, and the people that are coming out, their sons and grandchildren, talking against you now, it is because those ones are the few ones that got few results.
Yeah.
So their own ego, because they benefited from the ministry, they are saying, because I benefited, it is fine. I had a lady giving testimony that she gave all her salary, God doubled that, multiplied. I'm fine with that. But how many people did it happen to?
Yeah.
How many people did it happen to? If it is by chance, then we know it is chance. Then we can let us go and play lottery and win by chance. Baba Jebu Day, Bet Niger Day, we go play all this fun too with our money and wait for chance when it will reach our turn. So there's and I think that you should revisit this egocentric topic, because one of the things which I think that we need to gather things to reveal about this is fraud.
Yes.
All these our churches, the GOs, the bishops, they are all fraudsters.
Yes.
And why I can say they are fraudsters is that there are churches abroad, they falsify paper.
Yes.
Just to make sure that they look good in the eyes of the taxman, and back home they are remitting money illegally. That is simply fraud.
Wow.
Fraud is fraud. And that is why they will see something bad, they will not talk because it doesn't affect them. Their own churches is booming.
Wow.
So, and that is egocentric. As long as it doesn't affect them, they are fine. But now this one, they affect them. Their body temperature is rising. And it's rising fast. And one of the things which I notice is only producers are promoted in these churches. Why? Pastors that are producers or members that they see that things are happening for, they promote them quickly. Why? They are the ones that they will use as examples to the 99 and say, can't you see his life is forward, things is better, just to keep them down in slavery. So this slave trade is enough. Wow. People are now running from MFM to RCCG to Yakilome to everywhere. And they will still believe and go carry soap from one Baba Ijebu and use. It is because that they have never really been taught how they should love Christ himself.
Yeah.
There are still their children that teaches the right doctrine, but you know, they cannot even do what is in their hearts because they still have to abide by the doctrine of the chief master.
Wow.
And when this is in place, there is nothing that they can do. And because they are also seeing the proceed, money is coming. Nobody will change the game that is winning. The taxes that made, nobody changes it. But you know, if they don't change it, we are changing the rule of the game now.
Yes.
So they will realize that they are still using the tactics, but the game doesn't answer to them anymore. When they kick the ball now, our offside before is no longer offside, it is allowed. Just continue playing and score the goal.
Right.
Thank you so much.
God
bless you. God bless the team. God bless Maya. I was even telling them this morning that when they can touch Geotia, the tomb of Jesus is the most potent place. All of us will go and be lying down just to receive out. So how come a man will put a chair down and say that? They just old testament practice. Somebody fell into the tomb of Elijah and rose up the dead man. So come on, it is all paganistic. They should go to the tomb of Jesus and go and lie down there.
Yes.
Go and get the real power. That's what they are looking for.
Yes.
And whatever their eyes is finding, they are getting already. So God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.
Great job.
Right. See, I think this is what they call mantle. No? What is the handkerchief about it? This is witchcraft. This is medium. They are using the cloth as a medium. You see, that is an abuse. That is saying that it is the witchcraft, it is the medium, or it is the handkerchief that carries the power. So handkerchief has more power than the child of God. The child of God that is in the image and likeness of God. Someone that is carrying the image and likeness of God is falling under handkerchief. So handkerchief is more powerful than somebody in whom Christ lives. And the Bible says that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So they are making, this their handkerchief or whatever they have in their apron to look more powerful than the person that Jesus died for. Inanimate object. People are falling under inanimate objects. Inanimate objects are now more powerful than human beings.
Yeah, my name is Olakunle from the UK.
Okay, Olakunle.
DSA, thank you very much for this exposition. It's been wonderful.
Wonderful.
I've been waiting for a time like this where God will raise an army to open the eyes of the people. Incidences I want to share with you.
Okay.
The first one, when I was in Nigeria, as a Foursquarean, I was attending Foursquare.
Okay.
And we had a Bible study and it's on tithe and offering and things like that.
Okay.
And after the Bible study, they asked, is there anybody with questions? I said, I have a question. My question was, you said bring all tithes to the storehouse. What if I've packaged my tithe, I'm on my way to church, and along the way, I saw someone who is in their need of money? It does not matter what the need is. It could be that maybe the mom is in the hospital, or he or she wants to pay for a final exam or something like that. It's irrelevant what the need is. If I give that person my tithe, haven't I paid my tithe?
Yeah.
They told me, no, I have not paid my tithe because all tithe has to come to the storehouse. So since that day, I found it very difficult paying tithe because it didn't resonate with me. I didn't believe it.
Yes.
So that's one. The second one, when I came to the UK, I started going to Winners Chapel, which is a Bishop Oyedepo's church.
Yes.
And when we have last year Shiloh, that's where, even though I've been having reservations for some time, but last year Shiloh, people were coming now to come and give testimony. I sold my car, as a Shiloh offering, and the Lord did this. I did that, the Lord did this. And I asked myself, why is it that none of them sowed a seed to, say, an orphanage, or God did not tell you to go and do something to an orphanage, or build a school for, or build a house for homeless people or something? And I did that, I obeyed God, and then He blessed me. Why is it that everything you have to bring it to church, and then before God blesses you and everything? So the state where we are right now, we need this message. We need what you are doing. And I pray to God that the Lord will give you grace so that you can go to Nigeria and claim the land, because they are taking advantage of people, and it's just too much. It's too much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. You say people, human beings, are bowing down before inanimate objects. You see, this is what is happening. They are proving to us that inanimate object, non-living object, is more powerful than human beings. Inanimate objects. This is horrible. Inanimate objects, people are falling under inanimate objects. That's witchcraft. That's idol worshiping. Human being that is crowned with honor and glory is now the one falling down before clothes. These people are just hooligans. They are just hooligans. Okay, this one has his photograph in some perfume or something. So he's selling his perfume, or is it perfume he's selling, or water or oil, with his photograph. Let me forget about his perfume, Jared. Let me talk about books that can help people. Only God can save Nigeria. Only God can save Nigeria is a book here. Please send the book to, send it to people in Nigeria, and let's change our people. Nigeria and the leadership question is another book. Nigeria economy, the way forward. All these books will help Nigeria. Nigeria economy, how Nigeria economy can overtake the American economy is another book. How to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world is another book. Insulted by ungodliness is another book. Let heroes arise, another book. So all these books will go a long way to setting our people free. If you want to be a distributor and make money from it, please write to dssbooks@gmail.com, or just go to, if you want to just buy the book, go to Amazon or Okada Books. But then if you want it to be cheaper, you can write directly to dssbooks@gmail.com, or go to my blog, sonadelajablog.com/books as well. And those who want to join the Nigerian project, just go to the blog as well, sonadelajablog.com/Nigeria. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Blessings.